Here at the AnomicAge, we know that these times of uncertainty are stressful. It is incumbent upon all of us to put our fears first and bow down to government tyranny. Gone are the days of freely leaving your home, working, and social interactions. In exchange for safety, we will trade liberty. At the AnomicAge, we understand. However, just in case you want to get off your knees and stop being a sniveling coward, check out the JohnAge project at AnomicAge.com.
Meet Ann Morrissey, who is here with her daughter, Dareth. Dareth is 17 years old. Mrs. Morrissey, I don't have to tell you that most parents would be extremely depressed if their daughter came home one day looking like this. I assume that was your response shock, anger, depression? What was it?
I was extremely angry. I really went bananas.
Yeah, how old was she when this happened?
Possibly 13, 14 years old.
We're talking like it's a disease, isn't it?
Well,
yeah. How did she explain it to you, Mrs. Morrissey?
there was very poor communication until we went into counseling. And it almost broke up our family. But through counseling and Serena, I can understand it better.
What do you understand?
That she feels like she doesn't want to be like everyone else, and she wants to be her own person. And through the dress code and her lifestyle, she's expressing this. It doesn't conform with our rules, but we're learning to cope, and it's a very, very difficult thing. Extremely difficult.
Dareth, let's let you talk for yourself. You're from Long Beach, California.
I just can't handle being like everybody else because that's what everybody else wants, you know. Just because somebody else does something does not mean that I have to do it. You know, I have my own morals and ideals, and I go by them.
Are you drug-free, Dareth?
Yes, I am.
Is this a political statement, then? Do you have some misgiving about the society that you see?
Yeah, there's a lot of problems, you know. A lot of the people are really aware of what's going on, you know, and I don't like it, you know. There's a lot of problems.
What?
I don't like the way society is based.
What bothers you? Give us some of the misgivings you have.
The rich, the poor, the people starving, the wars, you know. Why can't, you know, everybody just get along and just live their life?
Here at the AnomicAge, we know that these times of uncertainty are stressful. It is incumbent upon all of us to put our fears first and bow down to government tyranny. Gone are the days of freely leaving your home, working, and social interactions. In exchange for safety, we will trade liberty. At the AnomicAge, we understand. However, just in case you want to get off your knees and stop being a sniveling coward, check out the JohnAge project at AnomicAge.com.
Meet Ann Morrissey, who is here with her daughter, Dareth. Dareth is 17 years old. Mrs. Morrissey, I don't have to tell you that most parents would be extremely depressed if their daughter came home one day looking like this. I assume that was your response shock, anger, depression? What was it?
I was extremely angry. I really went bananas.
Yeah, how old was she when this happened?
Possibly 13, 14 years old.
We're talking like it's a disease, isn't it?
Well,
yeah. How did she explain it to you, Mrs. Morrissey?
there was very poor communication until we went into counseling. And it almost broke up our family. But through counseling and Serena, I can understand it better.
What do you understand?
That she feels like she doesn't want to be like everyone else, and she wants to be her own person. And through the dress code and her lifestyle. She's expressing this. It doesn't conform with our rules, but we're learning to cope, and it's a very, very difficult thing. Extremely difficult.
Dareth, let's let you talk for yourself. You're from Long Beach, California.
I just can't handle being like everybody else because that's what everybody else wants, you know. Just because somebody else does something does not mean that I have to do it. You know, I have my own morals and ideals, and I go by them.
Are you drug-free, Dareth?
Yes, I am.
Is this a political statement, then? Do you have some misgiving about the society that you see?
Yeah, there's a lot of problems, you know. A lot of the people are really aware of what's going on, you know, and I don't like it, you know. There's a lot of problems.
What?
I don't like the way society is based.
What bothers you? Give us some of the misgivings you have.
The rich, the poor, the people starving, the wars, you know. Why can't, you know, everybody just get along and just live their life?
Talon Real and Chevy.
Propagating truth in a world of lies. You are listening to the JohnAge Project.
Trust no one. Trust no one. Trust no one.
You found it. You're here. You're headlong down the runaway train that is the AnomicAge. And I am your host, JohnAge. Happy to be back with you once again in the not-so-dark side of the PM. Hailing proudly from the coastal plain of the old North State, I will be your tour guide this afternoon as we take a somewhat satirical journey down the path of murder, destruction, mayhem, and the extermination of human life on this planet. A forced march into obsolescence thrust upon us by a global satanic death cult of pedophiles. Check out AnomicAge.com. If you've not already done so, I can't imagine why not. Please check out AnomicAge.com. If you can do no more, like all the likes, subscribe to all the subscriptions, paypal.me/AnomicAge, patreon.com/AnomicAge as well. You can buy me a cup of coffee right there. You can hit me up with the Cash App, free iPhone app, free Android app, subscribe by email link, and so much more. Right there at AnomicAge.com. If you're new to the game, new to the show, if you're just tuning in on the YouTube, go to AnomicAge.com. You can find hundreds and hundreds of shows with just me, with just guests, with a little bit of everything in between that you will never find again on the YouTube. Never. You shan't find it there. You just shan't. Nevertheless, here you are. There you are, and here I am. Had those things reversed. But anyway, here I am, and there you are. Thanks ever so much for tuning in. We got a lot to talk about today, don't we? We're going to talk about chaos creators. Chaos creators live here. Do they? Should they? Well, if they do, we're going to kick them out. All right? So much to get into. I'm going to start broad spectrum, and I'm going to come more focused, hit you right between the eyes, because I believe if it affects just me, you're playing yourself. You know, I think this affects each and every one of us that allow the chaos creators to enter into our lives, to affect and infect us individually and as a people. So, my voice is back, my cough is gone, thank God. So when I'm talking about chaos creators, they come in many shapes, forms, fashions, and factions. And they are shapeshifters, folks, like the devil. They are shapeshifters. I've jokingly said, but not so jokingly, that that the mistakes you make in your life will become habitual. They will become shapeshifters if you allow them to. For a while there, and I believe many of us can think back on similar mistakes, I felt like I was dating the same person, or at least different incarnations of that same devil. Till finally I said, hey, maybe there's a problem, Houston. Maybe we need to change things a little bit. And that can be said for so many things in life, man. You create your own chaos. Man, I spoiled the ending. I swear I spoiled the ending. But you do. You create your own chaos. So when we think of chaos creators, in my humble opinion, the 50,000-foot view, I think of the obvious stuff like the folks in the media, which we know is vastly controlled by the chosen people. But the media, man, I got a whole show just pertaining to this. But we know very well, old Bill Clinton, did not have sexual relations with that woman, Bill Clinton. Remember that guy? Yeah. You remember old Bill signed into law, good grief, I'm blanking on laws. That wasn't a law, was it? It was a bill, my bad. I should have remembered the bill on Capitol Hill, not to be confused with Bill Clinton. Media, let me see. Telecommunications Act of 1996. That's the thoughts I was looking for in my brain, which did away with the illegality of the monopoly control of the media. So now we're down to, I believe, 6 major corporations. It also allowed for the advertisements of drugs. Oh, should I say pharmaceuticals? On the unwitting masses. So now you're bombarded with just a bevy of ridiculous ads for drugs. And then followed by the obvious, if you've taken X, Y, and Z, you might be. You know how they go, right? So there's that. Chaos creation. The media is the primary infiltrator into our lives of the chaos creation, folks. It really is. And this is nothing new under the sun. I mean, we've known this, or at least we should have known this for quite some time. The Frank Church and the Church Committee hearings a la 1973 revealed Operation Mockingbird, that the media was controlled. It was controlled way back then, folks. What do you think it is now? And of course we all know and love, if it ain't Bill Clinton, it's Barack Hussein Obama. Yeah, he did away with the illegality of propagandizing the American public before he left office too. So, I mean, it was revealed that it was going on in the 70s, and then it was made legal again in the 2000s, folks. So media is the primary thing, just dropping, not just drops into the water, into the glass, but throwing boulders into the pond. Creating chaos. Creating chaos with the things that we are watching, seeing, hearing over and over again. Remember the 9/11 false flag? Oh, the jet fuel was just streaming down the elevator shafts like molten lava. Remember that? Over and over again, we saw the explosions of the buildings. Over and over again, they were showing the body bags returning from Vietnam. Over and over again, you saw Fauci up there talking about PSYOP 19. You're all gonna die. Like the old reverend in Poltergeist 2. You're gonna die in there. So all this just creating more chaos. Here we are now, we got Carmelo Anthony, not the basketball player, but the alleged murderer, creating more chaos. We got a helicopter gone down in New York. We got some more violence breaking out in the ATL. Imagine that. We got more violence breaking out in Chicago, the Windy City. Imagine that. We got the border wide open. We're about to nuke Iran. Imagine that. We're still messing around with the Ukraine. Ukraine's still about to go to nuke with Russia. All this, folks, all this is chaos creation. And then, of course, now everybody's addicted to their device and addicted to their favorite social media platforms. Addicted to their streaming services, addicted to all this mess. It's just creating chaos. Did I mention the 5G bombarding you and me? Did I mention the chemtrails? Did I mention the GMO foods? All this is chaos creation, folks. It is chaos creation. So we got the 50,000 foot view of chaos creation. Let's look individually, shall we? Because we've all got the individual part of this too. We got the macro and the micro, don't you know? On the individual level, what can we do to trim the fat of the chaos in our lives? Well, first and foremost, we can cut off all this noise. We should all be trying to separate signal from noise right about now. Cut all the mess off that you don't have to have on. I got a wireless signal in my house. I cut it on maybe every few days, like an hour or two a day, if there's something that has to be done on that. But vast majority is wired in, folks. 9 times out of 10, my phone's on airplane mode. If you need to get a hold of them, you're going to have to wait. When I leave the house, I still cut the mess off. I don't need a phone to tell me where I'm going to go. I don't need a phone to tell me what I need from the store. That's ridiculous. Chaos creation on the personal. What about those soul-sucking vampires that we've opened the door for and allowed in? We've rolled out the red carpet for these scumbags, folks. We've all got them in our lives. These people that are addicted to the drama. Always got to have some angsty mess to talk about. Always got to talk about how they're getting the shaft. I've been that guy. Always got to talk about how they're getting rear-ended, folks. Chaos creators. Soul-sucking vampires that if your day sucks, it's because their day sucks. They want you to know how bad their life is so they can bring your life down to the mud of trucking ground, folks. It's truth. So we've all got those people. Some of us may have been those people. It's time to put it down, folks. It's time to put the bags down. Let them go. Set yourself free of the chaos inflicted on you and me. Put it down. That's what we got to do, man. We got to put the chaos down. So, if you're going to get rid of something, you got to replace it with something. Isn't that the old adage, right? So all them addict shows, you see all those people out there smoking outside. They're all smoking outside. Yeah, we quit crack. Now we smoke extra hard. We're not boozing anymore. We got like 3 packs a day minimum, you know? People always replacing one bad habit for another bad habit. I got one for you, folks. Since you're weeding the garden of the chaos, you can actually replace the chaos with peace. Ooh, mind blown. You can do it, folks. You can replace the chaos with peace. I don't know how it's going to work out, but I'm going to speak to me individually just for a moment, you see. I've been trying this for a little bit now, and it's working out quite well. I might even discuss sometimes the positive influences. Because here's the thing, folks. We all have influences on our lives. We do. We are all affected by those influences. Sometimes the people we hang out with can just promulgate, exacerbate, and downright grow the negative chaos in our lives. So if you got some of those folks, it's time to cut ties. Let them go. Let them go, folks. But we can also have good influences on our lives, folks. We can. And it's weird because sometimes you've heard the same thing 1,000 times, but it's that 1,001 time where you hear that bell go off and you go, aha! It's all becoming clear. It's clear. And somebody's out there going, I've told you that 1,000 times. But it was the 1,001 time that pushed you over the edge, right? Sometimes it's just hearing the same thing from a different voice. It is. It is. So I've been replacing bad chaos with good peace lately. I really have, folks. I've been trying to get on this train. And shout out to, I'm going to mess this up. I'm going to try not to. My goodness. I had it all set, and now I've lost it all. Melanie Mac Go Boom. I don't know you personally at all, but I did just start following your channel recently. I'm going to give a shout out to this young lady. She might be phony as baloney. She might be full of complete hot air and prunes. But like I said, it's sometimes that 1,001 time. She was saying something quite prescient on her program just the other day. Basically saying how important it is to pray every day. Check. But more importantly, she said specifically how important it is to read the Bible every day. Was this revelatory for me? Was this something I didn't already know? Of course not. I knew that a long time ago. But it was that 1,001 time. Just maybe a different person, different perspective, different tone makes you go, aha, I'm going to try to see how it goes. So, again, this might not be your thing, but it was my thing. I've been reading it every day for a little while now. I'm not saying I'm reading chapters tonight. I'm not saying I'm reading whole books tonight. I'm saying I'm reading a little bit. Just a little bit. Every night. So that's number one. I've been replacing the chaos with peace. Number two. I've been getting back on the working out game. Yay. Trying to make some gains. Because I refuse to go quietly into the night. I refuse to just sit back, relax, and become a big, fat, weak piece of trash. Ain't gonna do it. And I know summer's coming. Summer's about to come ruin my day because I'm not going to be able to get my workout on in the same way. But I'm going to try to keep it up no matter what. So I've been trying to get my workout on, which for me individually at least brings me a whole lot of peace, man. I love exercising. I love working out. I love shooting the ball. I love skating. I love all that stuff. Well, baby steps, right? So just getting back in the gym a little bit, moving some heavy stuff makes me happy. Gives me a whole lot of peace, as my wife and family will probably attest. I feel way less lethal. So that's number two. Number three, I believe I've already mentioned, cutting the fat in your life. Cutting out those weak links in the chain. The people that are bringing you down, the people that ain't got nothing to bring to your front door except more and more nonsense, chaos, if you will. So, we can look at the big chaos creators, we can look at the individual chaos creators, and we can trim the fat on all that. And before you know it, you might be trim and slim and looking svelte in the chaos category. You don't have to invite that stuff in, folks. Even if it's people you know and love and their family and their friends, you don't have to invite that mess in. You don't. To borrow the American Psycho line, I got to take back some videotapes. AKA, I got to move on. Keep it moving. I don't have time for your nonsense. I don't have time for your negativity. To quote Suicidal Tendencies, you can't bring me down. So, that's another one, folks. The chaos creation is extrinsic and intrinsic if you allow it. That doesn't mean that no negativity is going to befall you. It doesn't mean nothing bad is going to happen to you. That doesn't mean you're not going to have chaos. That just means you can limit the chaos that's in your life. You can do it. It's kind of like the eating healthy thing. Doesn't mean you're never going to have anything bad for the rest of your life, but you can darn sure control what you put in your mouth. to a vast degree. So, that's my thoughts for today, folks. Chaos creators live here. They don't have to. You can kick them out. So, I'm always intrigued. Throw me some love in the comments. Like all the likes, subscribe to all the subscriptions. Let me know how you are, in fact, kicking those chaos creators out of your life. For me, it's real simple. Shut the mess down. Get on some biblical knowledge. Get on some prayers and Bible reading. Get on some working out. And might I also add, just get out. Get out and about, folks. If you're in a situation that's chaotic, pull the ripcord on that thing, folks. Get out. And find your time. Your time doesn't have to be everyone else's time. For me personally, I hate the daylight. Love the dark side of the AM. So, that means that's when I'm going to be active. That means when I'm going to be getting the best out of life is that time of the night. You might love the afternoon. You might love the morning. You might be like me and embrace the dark side. It's up to you, folks. Up to you. Whatever floats your boat. Pull the ripcord on out of chaos and get into the calming presence of the peace. You can't do everything, but you can do something. Be safe out there. I'll be seeing you sooner than later in the AnomicAge.
Thank you for listening to the AnomicAge, a JohnAge project. For past shows, further info, and to comment, go to AnomicAge.com. That's AnomicAge.com. Till next time, thank you for listening to the AnomicAge.